little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling.
Bonjour. Hello, it's Janice in France. Before I get started, I must say that this past week has been devastating for all of us to watch. The people who have lost their lives and their property and their memories and their animals in California. And before I go into anything that I had planned to say today, I want to tell you that even though it wasn't obviously planned this way, I've had this video idea for the last week. I've been working on it, but it does kind of go into it. But for all of you out there that have family or that you're there, my prayers and my thoughts go out to you. Once again, we ended 2024. And just when I think I have it all figured out, and I know exactly what's going on in my life, it's like it's turned upside down. It's like God's way of saying, you think you've got this? I don't think so. Just when you think you do, you don't. So I don't know if that is how your 2025 has come in this year, but this is how mine has came in and kind of slapped me on the face and said, okay, wake up, Janice. I want to use our time together today to help you think of how you can give back in 2025. I want us to come away from this video with big ideas, huge ideas of how we can give back. You know, there's so many different ways that we can give back to people. We can make a difference in other people's lives, but we just need to sit down and maybe discuss it. And you go, yes, right. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, whoa, yeah, I can do that. So I'm glad you joined me for my coffee chat today. And you know, like I said a while ago, by choosing to listen to me today, there was something in your little mind that said, I want to see what she's talking about. So I want you to accept my challenge. And my challenge is this. I want you to use 2025 as a purposeful year for you to do something for someone else. I ran some of these ideas across my daughter yesterday, and I said, do I sound too preachy? And she said, no. I said, do I sound like a teacher? And she said, no. She said, Mom, you just sound enthusiastic. And I thought, that's it, enthusiastic, that's the word. I want to empower you, empower me to give back in 2025. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to give back. And if you want to make some comments below of how you're going to give back, I would absolutely love it. And even if you do give back and you say, Janice, I do this and I do that, do that much more. Do that much more. Because I think our world could use that much more. Now, first thing I want to tell you is I'm doing something for my community, which is you. And you'll have to wait to the very end. I'm not going to tell you right now, but it's free. I'll tell you that. So you don't have to wait to the very end and go, okay, how much does she want? Nope. I want you to wait to the very end. And this is what I'm doing for my community. I'm offering my services, I'm not saying anymore, for free this month, next month. We'll see how long it goes. The next thing I want to talk about before we go into anything else, you know, I planned a girlfriend's getaway around 2 months ago, and I presented it on my YouTube. It's on my website. I put it on Facebook, and the cost was $5,750, I think. And I had so many women reach out to me, and they said, wow, I would love to join you on your girlfriend's getaway, but that is way too much money, Janice. And I looked at that and I thought, okay, wait a minute, Janice. Could you afford that? No. And I've always had this in my mind. If I don't support a merchandising product, whether it's clothes, whether it's shoes, whether it's earrings, whether it's earbuds, whatever, I'm not going to present it to you. So I took a fine-tooth comb, and that little trip now is $2,500. And I want to tell you, I put it out on Facebook yesterday, and I had so many people say, Janice, what are you doing? You're not going to make any money from this. Whoa, wait a minute. But what am I going to get from seeing people come here, meet with other women? Maybe they've never been to Paris before. I'm going to give more to my church this year. I just started going to this church about a year ago, off and on, not every Sunday, but off and on. But I want to give more. And I don't know exactly what there is. I reached out to a lady yesterday and I said, what are your parameters? What are your guidelines for giving? And she said, well, we have, money that we give to other places, but we don't actually have people on the ground doing things. And I said, that's me. That's what I want to do. I want to be the person on the ground doing things. I don't care if I have to head it up. I don't care if I have to be the one that does all the grunt work, but I want to give back. And one thing I've always loved that I've been involved with at different churches and even at schools, that we make shoe boxes. And then we put in socks and we put in things that children could use, maybe a little book or, maybe a scarf or something in the wintertime, and gloves, something that children could really use, not, video games or anything like that. Now, there's a church here in Paris called the American Church in Paris, and they have fabulous ways to help the community. In fact, one way, they get together and they make sandwiches for the homeless. And I remember doing that when I was teaching the 4th grade in California. And if you're one of my students, I remember this, I'm sure. On Friday, we made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We put a little container of orange juice. It's when the schools used to let us save that stuff. Now, if you don't drink it, it's thrown away immediately. So we would refrigerate it and we would take it, put it in a bag, and the next day I would go down to the homeless area and drop off these bags. And my kids got the biggest kick out of it. Now, I got the biggest kick out of it because I was teaching them to give back and I was giving back. So that's what the American Church in Paris does. And then they have other things. So this is what I thought might be real interesting. When you come to Paris to visit, whether it's this year or next year, whenever you plan on coming, wouldn't it be nice to say that I went to the American Church in Paris and I volunteered for a couple of hours to give back? Kindness goes across the borders. We don't just leave our home country and go to another country to see the Eiffel Tower and to see the Arc de Triomphe and all of that. And Janice in France. Wouldn't it be nice to know that I went to Paris and I saw all of that, but I also gave of my time to help the people out in Paris? Wouldn't that just be something to go back home to and tell people? We go back home or we send our pictures on Instagram or we send our pictures on Facebook and we go, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. But maybe you could inspire someone else when they come to Paris to help out. And then all of a sudden, you may be the first, but we've got other people coming in. I just think that would be fabulous. That's my idea of giving back. Now, some of you may be saying, Janice, I'm not coming to Paris, not ever coming to Paris. I have an older mother that cannot be left alone. I have an older sick husband that cannot be left alone. I just can't do that. Okay? So find another way that you can give back. And maybe somebody could give back to you. Maybe someone could come to you and say, you know what? Let me sit with your husband for a couple of hours. Let me sit with your mom for a couple of hours. Why don't you go outside and go to the park and have lunch? Or maybe go and get your hair done that you haven't had time to do. So maybe someone listening to this video will do something for you. See, that's how it works, folks. You do something for others. People do things for you. And I just think we're happier when we're doing that. And as some of you know, I'm working really hard on learning French. I was supposed to start this last Monday, and I woke up with a really bad sore throat. So my teacher texted me and said, hey, I have another person that's a beginner, and she's starting in March, so why don't you start in March? And I thought, absolutely perfect. I'll start in March. And that way it will give me time to continue to work on my French, to continue to be more knowledgeable, because this is my goal. There was this group of people at the hospital where I was chaplain in Atlanta for 2 years. And they are called the Vigil Group. And what they do, and I didn't know anything about them until a nurse called me one night, and she said, Janice, do you have time to come and sit with a man that is dying? And his family has been up here all day, and they just don't have the energy to return. And I said, absolutely, what an honor. And I sat there and I held that man's hand. And I remember the nurse came in and she started playing music. And I held his hand and I talked to him. And she said, you know, there's a group of women and men that get together that they do this all the time. This just happened to be in the middle of the night because I was on 24-hour duty. And I said, no, I didn't know that. And she said, yes, they will go and volunteer for people that don't have any family, or maybe their family is exhausted and out of town and they've already made the trip several times, but to be there with them as they make their last journey. And I thought that was the most kind gesture that anyone could ever do. So I'm working really hard on my French because I want to be able to go to the hospital and I want to be able to know enough French just to be able to say, there's someone here with you. You're not alone. And I want to hold their hand. And I want them to know that their journey, wherever they're going, whatever their belief system is, that they didn't go alone, that I was with them. And I've had this thought in my mind almost 3 years, and I am so irritated at myself for not starting this sooner. So as soon as I get a little bit more French underneath my belt, I'm going to go to my minister and say, okay, you know the hospital, you know the people there, would you take me and introduce me? Because some of them do speak English, and I want to be introduced, and I don't care if they don't use me but once every 2 months, or maybe they use me every 3 days for 2 months, or maybe they don't ever use me but once every 3 months. At least I want to put myself out there so that I can say, use me, let me use my time to help someone else. And my final way of getting back this year is to say yes. I saw the cutest little Instagram the other day, and it was saying, in 2025, the one word you need to learn is no, 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 no. And I thought that was cute. And I got the idea. I said, no, in 2025, my word is going to be yes, yes, yes. There are so many times people have offered me to come over for dinner. No, I'm okay, thank you. Or people have said, Janice, I'm going into Paris tonight. I want to just look around, walk around, just see that. No, I'm fine. So this year, 2025, I'm going to say, yes, I'll go with you. Maybe my foot's hurting. That's okay. I'm going with you. Because you know what? It isn't about me. It isn't always about me. It's about that other person. Yes, I'll go with you. Yes, I'll come have coffee with you at the Latraine Bleu. Yes, I'll do a meet up and greet with you at the Latraine Bleu. Yes, I will come into Paris to see you. Oh, you want to come to my house? Let me clean it up, and yes, you can come to my house. But this is my year to say yes. I have the opportunity to meet many people during the year. I have meetups at the Latraine Bleu, and different people come to Fontainebleau, and this man came to a meetup in Gare de Lyon in Paris at Latraine Bleu. In fact, he texted a friend and he said, I'm in Paris. He said, this is my last day here. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I want to kind of get out of my comfort zone. And she said, well, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, go to Latraine Bleu and meet up with Janice in France. Can you imagine? That's out of his comfort zone. And this is why he was in Paris. He has a son that's an engineer, and he works for a small company in Michigan. The company's name is Expat Tools. They sent him to Senegal for a week to teach university-age students how to use a computer-aided design and drafting software in an effort to give these kids a marketable skill and move the needle on getting them out of poverty. The school that he taught is largely funded by the Tools for Life Foundation, and I'm going to link every bit of that down below in case you want to look it up. Maybe that's something that you would be interested in. Maybe you want to donate a few dollars here to that kind of foundation, and maybe that will instill in you to look at other foundations. But I thought that was just awesome. It's just a company taking time and sending one of their employees, and the dad said, I'll go with you. And they both went, and I thought, what a wonderful thing to do. Now, that also inspired me, but there's another woman that came to Fontainebleau 2 years ago, and her name is Deanna. And the reason you see me with my computer out is I want to make sure I get the name of her foundation. Their mission is to provide South Carolina residents fighting cancer with an all-inclusive family vacation on the South Carolina coast. It is called Coastal Family Vacation Foundation, and you'll find the link below also. Now, because of these two people, I thought, I need to inspire other people. They've inspired me to give back, so let me inspire other people. I hope this video has inspired you like these people have inspired me. And there's so many good, wonderful charities out there. There's St. Jude. There's your personal church. Maybe a friend could use a few dollars or so, or maybe you could call a friend. There's so many things that you could do, a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of money. I would love for you to leave me comments on how you think I can give back, or how you think other people can give back, or how you are giving back for 2025. And as always, if you have not subscribed, I would love it. And if you've not clicked that little bell, I would love that too. And if you've not given me a thumbs up, why the heck not? Thank you so much for joining me. Mwah. Au revoir. As you can tell, this is one of my favorite places in Fontainebleau to have coffee. Not just at the Hotel Napoleon, but at Paul's, one of my favorite places. I had someone tell me when I first moved here, Janice, going to Paul's is like McDonald's in the States. And I said, I don't care. I like Paul's. I don't like McDonald's, but I like Paul's. And the one thing I like about Paul's is they always give this to you. Of course, most places do. But that's not what I'm here to tell you about. Very good. What I'm here to tell you about is I am going to offer for 2025 something I've never done before. And it's free. It's free. I want to do a Zoom twice a month. And I want, if you're part of my community and you want to be part of it, I already have your email. If you have not been a part of my community, but you need to be a part of my community to be part of this, you need to be a part of my community, go to my website, join my community. If you say, Janice, I'm already part of your community, okay, email me at janiceandfrance@gmail.com and I'll put you on the list. But what I'm going to do is twice a month do a Zoom call, and I'm going to have as many as I can on there, and it's going to be called Wise and Wellness. And every week we'll talk about something different. One week we may be talking about traveling in Paris. One week we may be talking about grief. One week we may be talking about how invisible older people are, or they seem to be anyway. Or maybe one week we're going to just have fun and talk about a topic that you come up with. But whatever it is, we're going to talk about something that you'll be interested in. I know that there are so many people out there that are lonely and they just want to feel like they're part of a group. And that's what I want to give back. I want to give back you making sure that you feel like part of the group. And it's going to be on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. my time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. And we're going to meet for about 50 minutes or less or more. You don't have to be on it. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But then the more you get familiar with it, because I did this about 4 years ago before I moved to France. And the people that came, they became such good friends. In fact, one of them said the other day, he said, Janice, I wish we could do this again. I said, all right, let's do it. But this time it's not going to be just about grief. It's going to be things that we talk about as older women, just like you would talk to your good friend. So I hope you're going to be able to join us. So I've been walking around town today taking pictures, and I thought I would stop at Paul's and take a little bit of a hot chocolate, a little bit of a break, and to tell you, Happy New Year, and let's help each other out this year. I hope you sure can join us. Bye.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. I've met him before over in the gardens, and he's very kind to me, and he works here at the chateau, and that's where I'm filming today. So thank you for being so kind.
Thank you.
And he's going to watch not this Sunday, but next Sunday so that he can see our video. Merci. Au revoir.
Bye-bye.